Hello! We have 3 stories today from PettyRevenge, and today I messed up because it's a mixed bag type of day. There were so many good stories, but not enough for a full video. So we're crossing boundaries to taste only the cream of the crop. And speaking of eating ice cream, our first story has a truly diabolical man who could double as a certain witch that lives in a gingerbread house. But worry not, there's no cannibalism in this tale. At least not yet. And as always, your support helps fight the Reddit bot menace. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Let's dive into Story 1. I've been secretly fattening up 2 coworkers for talking smack about a friend of mine. I've known my friend since high school. I'll call him Bob. We're both in our 40s now and ended up briefly working for the same company but different locations. Sometimes employees travel to different locations for training and whatnot, and a little over a year ago, my buddy ended up here for a half day of training. My friend has a lisp. He's self-conscious about it, was teased in high school, and it's affected his self-image and self-esteem. The guy is all heart and really is a cool guy if you get to know him. He's a bit overweight and pretty self-conscious about that too. I wasn't here the day Bob came to train, but the next day I went to the front office with 2 of the secretaries to say good morning like always. We had a good rapport. Then they were talking with a fake lisp and absolutely cracking up like it was the funniest thing in the world. I knew my friend was here, but asked them anyway what the lisp was about. The 2 shrews didn't know Bob was one of my oldest friends. They could barely keep a straight face about how the guy from the other place sounded like a loser who would probably never find a woman. He looked greasy. He was fat. Can you imagine what he would sound like in bed? Lisping and sweating? Stuff like that. I was pissed, but kept a good poker face. Kinda chuckled and said something to the effect of, "You guys are terrible." They seemed proud of themselves, and these 2 mean girls have a sweet tooth. For the last year, I have relentlessly been bringing them donuts, chocolates, Starbucks drinks with so much sugar they could give an elephant diabetes, ice cream cakes, candy, anything calorie-dense and sweet. It's not hard to make them eat. I just say stupid cliche, funny stuff like, diet starts tomorrow, or if you take small bites, there's fewer calories. They laugh and eat. No joke, they have gained about 40 pounds apiece and now complain about things like finding clothes and being tired all the time. One of them was spilling her guts to the other about her husband not wanting to sleep with her anymore. Bob never found out about what they said. He left the company for greener pastures shortly after that incident. He's doing good. I have no intention of stopping. In the comments, Spatstar said, "The best part is they probably think you are so nice while your sweet revenge is working." OP replied, "Anyone who has worked in an office knows to keep the secretaries happy to make your life easier. I hate office politics. I don't make the rules. I just try to abide by them." Imaginarian Photo said, "Well played, Petty Crocker. Well played. You're my hero." Hugh Honey said, "Protect Bob at all costs. OP, I like your self-control and diabolical nature. Truly what the sub is all about. Pettiness for the greater good." Kigal21 replied, "The Robin Hood of pettiness, if you will." This story really reinforces that there is nothing sweeter than putting bullies in their place. And good golly, Miss Molly did OP get them. And at a minimum, people will see them coming a mile away. Our second story follows a man who encounters a gender-biased laptop, and his journey will leave you questioning the laws of physics in Story 2. Today, I messed up by buying a laptop that only works with women, or man if they had a shower or bath before using it. So the story started like 4 weeks ago when we decided to buy a new laptop for my wife. I found one on a very popular marketplace. A Dell 7430 i7 16GB model that should be over £600 or $700. This was only £150, pristine condition, and warranty just expired a week ago, but it was advertised as a bit hectic machine. Bought it as I thought whatever the problem is, I'll fix it. I have worked with hardware for a long time and always found challenging to find problems, so I thought that would be easy. I went and asked if there was anything wrong with it. She said her husband can't use it as it always turns itself off when he is using it. She never had a problem, and Dell said nothing's wrong with it. It does not like to work with her husband, that's all. I thought, I have never heard a more stupid explanation for a laptop sale, but whatever. Bought it. Took it home, switched it on, started installing fresh Windows 11. Then a minute later, the machine went to sleep mode. I was like, okay, this could happen, so don't worry about it. Carry on installing. 5 minutes later, sleep mode. I started to worry and at the same time started to think what that could be. With all the updates, it took me about 4 hours to finish Windows 11 as the laptop went to sleep about 20 times. Then my wild ride started. I went to have a shower and came back downstairs to polish the system up for my wife, and the machine worked as it should. Finished it all, then handed it to my wife. All went well until Friday evening. I sat back to it to do some work on a charity website. Laptop went to sleep straight away. I was like, whack a frap. Wanted to finish the job on it, but kept going to sleep every 2 minutes. Asked my wife if that happened to her too. She said it didn't. So got her to sit down and worked on it, and nothing happened. The laptop worked properly without any issue. Then I went there. 30 seconds later, the laptop went to sleep. Imagine my face. I thought this laptop was sexist AF. I got very confused. I went upstairs, took a shower, came back down. It worked. I am not religious, not a believer. I don't believe in ghosts or flat earth. I love math, physics, so you can imagine how confused I was. Anyway, I finished that job without any glitch. Next morning, I went downstairs to see the lovely laptop that has a soul. Guess what? Started to go to sleep as soon as I approached it. It felt like whenever I hovered my hand near the shift, it went to sleep. I have updated drivers, deleted keyboard generic driver, installed specific one, changed power settings. Nothing worked. It did the same thing. You know what? I got so confused that evening, I went to take a shower just to please my wife's laptop. Don't laugh, I did. Came back downstairs, worked. Again, that cannot be a coincidence. More confusion. A lot more. Then I woke up this morning, ignored the bird chirping that came from outside. I have not even fed my spider. There were many questions about my spider. His name is Mr. Bean, and there are 2 pictures of him separately in the comment section. So Mr. Bean was looking at me very grumpy all day today. All I did was storm downstairs, switch the little miserable bugger on, then, oh boy, it went to sleep in 1 minute. I was looking at the black screen and seeing my face in it as all my confidence and years of experience slowly leaving my brain through my cloudy eyes along with my soul. This cannot be. This is impossible. So what can a man do? I went to get a morning bath. I said do not laugh, especially because when I came back, it worked. I have stopped working on this problem and given up. Also started to browse eBay for a Bible and joined the Flat Earthers on Facebook. I am joking, but I probably have never been closer to these before. I did not touch that devil again today, and I went to sleep at 9 p.m. Then, suddenly, I woke up 2 hours later, just before I wrote this post, and a little light bulb lit up in my head. When I'm having a shower, I always take my bracelets off, and my bracelet has a tiny magnetic thing on it. But I put it back on every morning. I swirled down without my bracelets, and the laptop worked as it should. I ran back up, put the bracelets on, had to go again, and the laptop started to go to sleep again. There you go. I almost started to worship a laptop. Then, there it is. Physics. The inglorious thing thinks that I am closing the lid when the magnet gets close to the sensor. Hope you enjoyed this story as much as I enjoyed squeezing my brain in the past 3 days. In the comments, Peteplia said, I deal with this with all the end users that wear Apple Watches with the original band in my workplace. Haha! It has a magnetic piece in it too that triggers the sensors. Then we get tickets about it. Took us a while to figure out the first time as well. Mid-Cancer Rampage replied, but it's so much funnier to imagine laptops gaining sentience only to be like, ew, unwashed males, no thanks. His name is Bruno said, the laptop has spoken. You're smelly. OP replied, believe me, this actually was on my list. Can't it be both, though? Smelly boys and magnetic sensors? Definitely makes for a much more entertaining story. I wonder what OP's wife was thinking through all this. OP's running up and downstairs, pulling his hair out like a madman, trying to figure out what is wrong with the laptop, probably talking to it. Meanwhile, it was working just fine for her. Hopefully, OP's victory resulted in more love for Mr. Bean. What a delightful name. Our third story is a hilarious mishap that takes expect the unexpected to a whole new level, when two expecting parents were a little too clever for their own good. In Story 3, today I messed up by trusting our neighbor to read the gender results for our expected baby. Happened today. My wife and I are expecting, and we elected to get a full panel of genetic testing done at 12 weeks. The results came in, and there was a note from the office that the gender of the baby was included in these results. It said that if we didn't want to see them yet, do not open, and the doctor will give us our results next time we came in for an appointment via envelope. We were both super excited, and maybe that is the first screw-up. It was Thursday, and we decided we wanted to do our gender reveal with a cake on the weekend. We would then send out some gender reveal trinkets to our relatives and friends who are scattered all about the country. We schemed all sorts of ways we could get the results, from rather involved ones like me creating a script that could read the result parsed from the PDF, I'm software guy, to just annoying ones like driving the hour to the office to get them to write it on a paper, to rather sensible ones like having a trusted but minimally invested third party take a look at the results and write it down. We went with the latter. The foreshadowing is likely strong here, but that was the next screw-up. Our neighbor is a sweet lady recently retired and happily obliged. She took the phone, PDF, and little did we know it was many documents. Genetic results, disclosures, page after page of medical jargon. My wife could not help guide her in fear of seeing the results herself. After 15 minutes, she excitedly exclaimed, "Oh, I got it! I know what it is! Go away!" as she wrote it down secretly to put in an envelope. This envelope went to a baker, with instructions to create our gender reveal cake for two. Today, we picked up that cake. My wife was visibly more nervous than I was. She kept stalling and wanting to position the phone camera a certain way, set out plates, clean the countertops before filming, etc. We finally get set for the big reveal. We cut the cake together. 1 cut. Can't tell. 2 cuts. Can't tell. Get the server. We scoop out this large 7-inch cake slice and, well, what the hell is it? It's just vanilla on the inside. This is all on film, and wife and I are just silent, both staring up at this slice of cake that I have raised up in the air. The dog is behind the shot, also staring at this piece of cake in awe, albeit for much different reasons. After an abnormally long pause, I notice that the thin layer of frosting in the middle is pink. It's a girl? It's a girl! I think it's a girl. My wife's face is priceless. She is so mad that the instructions she gave the baker, dye the cake the color, the whole reason we went with just a plain vanilla base, were clearly ignored. The cake was also kind of smooshed and we paid $50, but whatever. Just to double check, we look at the paper that the neighbor had sealed. Baker had given back to us. It's a female. I chuckled that it was written that way, as I would think a boy or girl, but good enough for me. But hey, it's a girl, our baby girl. We kiss and hug and are thrilled. My little girl's entire existence flashes before my eyes. I'm coaching softball. I'm cheering her on far too loudly at a debate team or math competition. I'm walking her down the aisle. But immediately after, my wife starts ripping through her phone. She wants more confirmation. I'm like, "Hey, you okay?" She's ignoring me, ripping through her phone. I am over her shoulder. Medical jargon, and then a page. Patient. First name, last name, sex, female, baby gender, male. In our neighbor's haste, she saw the patient's gender and misjudged. Call it a mother's intuition that my wife felt it was always a boy. We created a short second video recording to write the official record, laughed at the absurdity of it all, and enjoyed our smooshed, mediocre, wrongly gendered cake. It was the best cake I ever had. In the comments, Global Monk said, "Brilliant. Never trust your neighbor with cake again. And congratulations on your son." OP replied, "Haha, thanks. And I don't think I will, although we have debated whether to ever let her know. We don't want her to feel bad about it. After all, she did us a huge favor. I guess eventually the truth will come out, quite literally." Thank goodness these two filmed the reveal and weren't hosting a party. This could have been so much more awkward if they combined the baby shower and gender reveal. Instead, they end up with an amazing story to tell their little one. And I can't help but thinking that the screw-ups of getting too excited in life and not trusting your neighbor really shouldn't be the takeaways. What is it? Opposite day? And that's it for today. Until next time, shine bright, Starlight.
Yahoo!
If you've enjoyed the story and would like to hear more, consider liking, subscribing, and leaving a comment. Thanks, and bye for now.